YouTube, it's me, Activiz, back with a brand new video. So, everybody knows it's been to college or that is in college now that being a full time student, it's hard. You really don't have, it's basically you having a full time unpaid job usually. And if you are getting paid for anything, it's like a grant that's supposed to pay for like supplies and like tuition or whatever. You're in class usually from about 7 o'clock to 2 o'clock, a standard school day, about 7 to 8 hours for 5 days a week. And that can take a toll, especially if you have a job and you go to school, because then you barely have any time to do anything. You damn near don't even have a life at that point. And on top of that, money is also a bitch when it comes to being a full time student. You barely have it, and it's almost like you're always running out of it when you're in college. So I've talked about my story similar to this on my channel already, like numerous times on this channel, to tell you the truth. If you want to watch any of those videos, I'll have one of them linked here. It's 2021, 2022, the darkest year of my life or whatever. I've talked pretty much in detail about how miserable I was as a full-time college student and how much I hated going to college and how much I hated the program that I was in and just how much I regret going. But one of the main reasons why I regretted going and why I hated it there is because it really threw off like how well I was able to bulk, because I had a lot less time to cook. Where I went to school was basically in the middle of nowhere, where if I didn't have time to cook and I had to resort to getting some takeout, most of the options were really unhealthy food, like fast food, like Sonic, McDonald's, Domino's, Pizza Hut, Subway, fucking Walmart deli. Who the fuck eats at the Walmart deli? Like, you do not love yourself if you're eating there. Anyway, a few food trucks, a Mexican restaurant. For the most part, none of the stuff was really healthy. None of it really had like the nutritional value that would have really helped me achieve what I wanted to achieve in the gym. So I resorted to Bolt House drinks. I would go to Walmart and get those Bolt House drinks that have about 30 grams of protein in them. And it's very convenient, extremely convenient. It makes hitting like your goal for the day a lot easier, because you can just drink this little bottle of like milk, pretty much. It's pretty much what it is, just milk and like a bunch of other shit in it. And boom, that's 30 grams of protein right there. Whether that's what you're starting off with or that's a little midday boost, it's convenient. It adds a good bulk of protein to your numbers for the day. And here's one of the reasons why I emphasize not relying on liquid calories. Yeah, liquid calories can make it a lot easier for you to hit your goals, but I wouldn't recommend relying on that all the time. Not an everyday thing. Maybe a few days each week, but not all day, not every single day each week, because eventually that shit's gonna wear down on your stomach. Like, your stomach's not gonna fucking agree with that shit. Eventually you're gonna be running straight to the toilet and just shitting that shit straight out, because your body's gonna grow tired of it, and it's not sustainable in the long term because there's a lot of added sugar in like Bolt House drinks. You'd be much better off just like, which we'll get into this later in the video, you'll be much better off making your own protein shakes at home and drinking those, so that way you know exactly what's going in there and you have full control of exactly what's going in there and like how much protein you're getting. Because you can make a protein shake that tastes good without putting any powder in it. I eventually did cave and started to eat at some of those fast food restaurants. I would go to Subway because I'm like, it's the most healthy option. But at the end of the day, it was shit. I really didn't like it because I really don't like fast food like that. So I always felt like shit after eating it. And I was still spending money that I shouldn't have spent. Like money that knew I didn't need to spend. Money that would have been better to go in the gas tank. But I also still wanted to hit my numbers for the day. I still wanted to hit my protein goal for the day. And that was most important of all. But looking back, I wish I made the change that I eventually made much sooner. Because the change that I eventually made was I simply started meal prepping. But I didn't just start meal prepping just like a bunch of like random shit that I saw on TikTok or like I wasn't, a few times I would meal prep some food that I would like typically get at a restaurant because I love hibachi. So I'll try to meal prep hibachi. But again, I didn't have all the time in the world. So meal prep and hibachi was something that was extremely time consuming. And I just didn't always have the time to do. So I simplified my meals. And what is that? Well, I boiled it down to the base ingredient. Something as simple as like what? Tuna, tilapia, chicken, potatoes, rice, eggs, beans, or lentils. And look, I know right now eggs are dumb expensive. Like dumb expensive. I never thought I'd see eggs get as high as they are right now. So if you still want access to a cheap, quick resource for protein, lentils is your way to go. Eggs honestly aren't the way to go right now, sadly, because eggs have gotten insanely expensive. They used to be the way to go because look, if eggs were still pretty cheap, I would literally tell you 4 eggs first thing in the morning. Because eggs, you can literally put them in the microwave in a bowl if you're comfortable with that, or you can literally stand over a skillet for like 5 minutes and scramble up 4 eggs. Another thing you can do first thing in the morning, because honestly, breakfast is the one that you want to be like, that you want to have to be like as easy as possible, the easiest thing that you can access. It can be something that takes 5 to 10 minutes to prepare and cook, or something that you can make the night before and grab and go, or make a few nights in advance and freeze until you're ready for it and then grab and go. Because when you're a busy ass full-time college student and you have to wake up at like 6 o'clock in the morning to get to the other side of the city, or to get to another town just to go to college, just to go to school and get to class on time, and you have to leave your house by a certain time just so you can get there on time. Like, you can't get away with leaving like 5 minutes before you're supposed to be there and still make it in like a few minutes because you live that close. Like, you have to leave like at a set time, otherwise you're guaranteed to be late. You absolutely should make breakfast the easiest possible meal that you can get in, the easiest possible source of protein that you can get in, because when you're in that situation, it is so easy to skip breakfast. So easy to skip breakfast, and that can fuck you up for the rest of the day. Skipping one of those midday meals can still fuck you up, but not as bad as skipping breakfast can fuck you up. And look, another thing I would do when you simplify your meals down to like base ingredients such as tuna, tilapia, chicken, potatoes, rice, beans, eggs, so on and so forth, spread 25 grams of protein minimum across all of your meals and make breakfast the easiest possible meal that you can get in. When you meal prep lunch, meal prep something simple. It can literally just be chicken. It can be some chicken, rice, or some chicken and lentils, or some chicken and beans, or some chicken, rice, and beans. Like, you can make a little Southwest bowl, which really doesn't take a lot of effort, because the most time consuming part of that will honestly be prepping the chicken, because you can literally just put the rice in a pot and leave it alone for like 30 minutes. Boom, your rice is done. Or you can put it in the oven with some like foil over it for like 30 or so minutes. Boom, you got some rice and it's done. That you don't have to like stand over there and watch it like that. Whereas the chicken, yeah, you're gonna have to chop this up, whether you chop it up from raw or you season it and then cook it and then chop it up from there. You're gonna have to prep the chicken and stand over the stove usually, or periodically check on the chicken if you're baking the chicken or air frying the chicken. However you're cooking the chicken is going to be the most like time consuming part of that. Whereas the rest of it is just going to be as simple as like putting something in a pot and heating it up, or putting something in the pot and leaving it alone for like 30 minutes, and then boom, it's ready. And look, you'll put that, and you want to spread this out across days, by the way. You don't want to make it like a Southwest bowl for one day and then like a tuna casserole the next day. No, you want that Southwest bowl to be your lunch for like the next 3 days or like the next 4 days. So what that means is you want to spread that out across like 3 to 4 days. So let's say Monday and Tuesday, you've got Monday and Tuesday in the fridge ready to go. You want to put Wednesday and Thursday in the freezer and pull those out, and then you'll freeze what you've got for the remaining days. And while you've got that meal prepped, whenever you got some downtime in between those days, you can go ahead and prep the next couple days meals. You can prep Thursday, you can prep Friday and Saturday and Sunday's meal. It will say a Southwest bowl is like your lunch. High protein tuna casserole is your dinner for those same days, that Monday through Thursday. And then your last meal can honestly be a snack, like some cake or even a shake. Like your last meal could be a protein shake, like some casein protein, some slow digesting protein that you could literally have before you go to bed, that your muscles absorb while you sleep, which is really effective, honestly. Like, there's some science behind that I'm not going to get into in this video, but it's super effective, especially when you do that on training days. So I would honestly suggest doing that on your training days. At the end of the day, make like the last thing you have like some casein protein, some slow digestion protein before bed, or some kind of high protein snack, some kind of cheap high protein snack. High protein overnight oats. You cannot go wrong with that for breakfast. You can literally just scoop some protein powder into like some oats and like mix it around. And more importantly, when you're doing this, you got to be willing to ditch the desire for flavor and to eat something that tastes good for eating something that's just going to help you hit your goals. So if you absolutely hate the way tuna tastes, so like you can honestly absolutely hate the way that your tuna casserole tastes, but if it's helping you hit your goals, that's what matters at the end of the day. As long as you aren't allergic to tuna and like you aren't gonna gag like while you're swallowing the tuna and almost just puke it right up, still eating it so you hit your goals, that matters. There are various apps that you can use that are available on the App Store. I personally like to use Chronometer. I believe there's MyFitnessPal, which is similar, same thing. You can scan barcodes or put in different food items and like literally basically put together what you've had in your meal in the app, and then it calculates all of that from calories, from total calories to carbs, protein, and fat, and then like the nutrients that you're getting from that in another tab. Download either one of those apps. It's up to you, honestly, whichever one floats your boat the best. It's up to you to download that. Both of them work very efficiently, so both are great and both have their place. If this video helped you, hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell so you make sure you never miss a video. I post over here 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I really want to help you out in this video, so in the description, you're going to see a link that's going to take you to a free PDF that's going to have like a week's worth of meals that are super simplified, base ingredient meals, kind of how I described, where you can literally just like make all of this like within like 30 minutes or less and get a good amount of protein out of it despite your busy ass class schedule, because I know how tough it can be and how discouraging it can be. It's not for the weak. It really ain't. I'll see you on the next video. Go do something positive for somebody out there. Deuces.